WCCF AM 1580. Good morning. We're talking to Donna Barrett from the Charlotte-DeSoto Building Industry Association, along with Wendy Atkinson and John Davidson from AMIKids. Good morning, folks. Good to have you back.
Good morning.
All right, we've been talking about AMI and the services that they've been providing, primarily for young gentlemen who've been in foster care for years and years, and they're providing services to help them move through the crises they may have experienced in their younger days and get in shape to be productive members of modern society. So facilities out in the Babcock Ranch and serving 25 young men, is that right?
24. Yes,
24,
sir.
okay. And lots of activities for the gentlemen in terms of learning the culinary arts and woodworking, automotive activities. So a very comprehensive program for these guys to help them get out into the real world, if we say.
Yes, sir.
All right, and so now we've got school is out, and how do we entertain these fellows during the summertime?
We have trips going every day, Dr. John. Yesterday actually was pretty cool. The kids went down to Florida Gulf Coast University's forensics lab, and were able to work with the kids at FGCU and their forensics teams to learn about forensics, and they were super excited. They came back and hopefully developed some desire to go to college to some of those boys. I'd like to say too, Donna asked me to give our website because I was asking for volunteers earlier if you want to come out to a birthday party. Our website is www.amikidscrossroads.org, or you can call our phone number, which is 941-575-5790 to get involved.
All right, sounds like a great opportunity. Now, given that information, what do you really need? I'm sure you need a lot of community support and volunteers. What kind of things can folks in the community do to help you out?
I appreciate you asking that, Dr. John. You probably have seen in the paper too, and you can understand that when we're out of season, all of the nonprofits are hurting for volunteers. We are definitely. I really, we've been talking about vocation. I give probably 2 or 3 tours a week to different groups, and I'm always asking, because you never know who you're talking to, that we need a vocational volunteer to help my vocational instructor. Like I said earlier, if we have a toilet that's broken, then my vocational instructor, Mr. Tom, will take the kids and go fix the toilet. Meanwhile, whatever projects they were working on has to stop. Mm-hmm. And when I have had vocational volunteers before, you can kind of split the class, and the vocational volunteer can stay in the shop and continue to work on birdhouses or whatever they're working on, and then the other kids can go do the necessary task. Okay. I had a long-term vocational volunteer, and last year he started early onset of Alzheimer's. I walked in the shop, and a kid had his safety glasses on his head while he was using the saw, and I jumped on the kid for it. And I think the volunteer thought I was saying something against him, but what he really thought was he was slipping, and he came to me after that and said, "John, I can't do this anymore." Mm-hmm. And that was heartbreaking, because he was a great vocational instructor volunteer. So anyway, we're definitely needing that. During the school year, I need tutors. Even now, math and science tutors would be good, because I have some kids that are so far behind in school. I talked about earlier, if a kid's been to 14 different foster placements in 5 or 6 different schools, it serves the reason that he's way behind in education, and they don't want to be. So volunteers help in that they get that one-on-one time in tutoring. Mm-hmm. And math and science tutors are the hardest to find. And then probably the next biggest need is cooking in the kitchen. My kids do a lot of the prep work, and we have a menu, and we have the food in the commercial kitchen, but I need an adult in there to supervise that process when my full-time person is out on vacation or weekends.
John, how long have you been doing this, and what was your incentive to get started into something like this? This is a difficult job.
It really is, Tom. Actually, has a funny story. I got out of the Navy in 1995, and my plan was to go to med school, which I'm so glad that didn't work out. I hate hospitals. I don't like the smell of them. God bless the people who do it, but I can't do it. And it was really kind of divinely led to this occupation up in North Florida, and it was just a perfect fit. So this is my 21st year.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Does it take special education to do this? I mean, did you go to college to learn how to handle these children?
No, definitely not. It takes good relationship skills, and you really have to have the drive to do it. I mean, I don't think education has anything to do with it. I have a bachelor's degree in management and a master's in education. Really, my military experience, probably more than anything,
Helped you out in this?
Helped me out in this.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, yeah.
A little discipline there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about some of the fundraising activities that take place in the community that help you out. We mentioned earlier Rockin' and Reelin'. Can you tell us a little bit about the fishing tournament coming up?
Yes, sir. We're pretty blessed that the CDBIA has chosen us to be the recipient this year of their Rockin' and Reelin' fishing tournament. And this is the 4th one they've done. So the date is September 16th and 17th, but they're recruiting captains and boats right now. And it's for a good cause. So if you want to get involved, I suppose contact Donna at the CDBIA out there.
All right, that takes place September 16th and 17th. And there's a nice payout, almost $15,000. That's a great prize for doing a little fishing, enjoying the inshore and offshore fishing facilities within our great Southwest Florida. So you can actually save a couple of bucks on your registration fee if you do that by August 1st. So if that's something that interests you, check it out. The website is swflrockinandreelin.com, all one word. And again, that's September 16th and 17th. Registration $350 inshore, $550 offshore, and again, you save $50 if you register by August 1st. And one of the beneficiaries of that is AMIKids, so you can't go wrong with that particular activity. Plus, you're going to have a great day out on the water as well. Well, we've talked a little bit about how the kids move through the process in your facility. Once they're done, they turn 18, it's time to go. You can't keep them after that.
Yes,
What sort of, do you have a celebration or something for that?
We do. So I told you earlier that one of my board members' wives came up with the birthday party idea. Well, one of my board members came up with this boyhood to manhood sort of crossing over celebration that we do. So when a kid turns 18, we do the birthday party at 6, and then at 7 o'clock is this ceremony. We have a bonfire and tiki torches. All the kids have a part to play. It's somewhat of a Mason's type ceremony. It's very strict. And then at the end we present the kid with his own suit and tie. And it's become a fixture on our campus for the 18-year-olds to the point where kids talk about it well in advance of how they're crossing over.
Looking forward to that?
Yes, sir, yeah.
It's a rite of passage.
Rite of passage, exactly.
And you need sponsors for the suits, do you?
We do. We're looking for people to sponsor individually the kids' suits. It's a couple $100 to get a suit and some shoes and a tie. So we're
Throw in some socks there, too.
Yeah, socks. Need socks, pants. We don't go as far as underwear usually, but that would help.
You're on your own with the underwear.
Yes, sir, yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds like a great program and a great opportunity for the kids to learn how the lessons of life and get organized. You talked about needing mentors, and I remember my youngest son going through high school, and in his senior year, he was taking math I'd never seen before. I guess you say it's tough to get math tutors.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Yeah, that's math has become a much more complicated process than it was many years ago, and he's got to go up by a special computer for handheld computer. He's calculating graphs and all that stuff, and whoosh, I mean, I never saw that in high school, and so I can understand how it's difficult to get some folks. So if anybody's out there who is math savvy and wants to participate in it, be sure to give these folks a call. We're going to take a quick break, check in with Tom, see what the weather looks like.
Thanks, Dr. John.